That's great timing.
Yeah.
We're recapping the buzz, generating highlights of day one at the Worldwide Partner Conference here in Toronto, Canada.
That's coming up next.
Live from Toronto.
Welcome to MPN Live, coming to you from the MPN booth on the floor of the Solution Innovation Center at WPC 2012 in Toronto, Canada. I'm Eric Ligman, Director of Partner Experience for Microsoft.
And I'm Karl Noakes, General Manager of Microsoft's Partner Strategy and Programs team. Over the next 30 minutes, we're covering the top 5 highlights of day one here at Worldwide Partner Conference. We'd also love to hear from you throughout the show. You can join us on Twitter. Be sure to use the hashtag MPN Live and WPC12. Let me introduce our esteemed guests for MPN Live today. We have the Vice President of Programs and Software Channels at IDC, Darrn Bibby. We have Technology Strategist from Partner Applicable, Angus Fox.
Hello.
And we have the President of Mazzanti Technologies, Jennifer Mazzanti. Welcome. And also congratulations on your award for the Small Business Specialist Partner of the Year.
So, what we're talking about is what the 5 top topics that sort of seem to surface to the whole top today here at the show. And so the first piece was this whole idea of a new era together. And I think Steve had a lot of great things to talk about for there. So why don't we actually take a look at a quick clip from Steve.
And I will tell you, our partners, that this year is the most important year. All my time at Microsoft, the founding of Microsoft, the launch of the PC, Windows 95 and Windows 8. The chance to strike, the chance to make a difference, the chance to build your business, the chance to grow, the chance to impress people, our customers, with things that they just say, wow, my business is better for the work that we did together. This year is really unparalleled. It's Windows phones, it's Windows servers, it's Windows Azure, and it's Office. It's the core of Microsoft reinventing itself for a modern era.
So I think it was pretty clear the excitement that Steve had today talking about this opportunity, this new era, what it means for partners, what it means for everybody involved in that. So let's get your perspectives. Jennifer, what was your take on that?
I really liked the way he summarized it at the end where he said this is a year for all of us, because I work mostly with small businesses, and I'm proud to count my own firm amongst that group. And I think for small businesses, technology is a great equalizer. And what the new Microsoft offerings are going to do is really allow small business to compete in an enterprise space, and that really is going to allow it to be a year for all of us.
It's a huge call to action, Eric, isn't it? Making the launch of Windows 8 as big as the launch of the IBM PC and as big as the launch of Windows 95 is a call to action to all the partners here. They must get involved with this and get on with getting up to speed and getting ready to deal with this new technology in the market.
Well, and again, to think about like Windows and the different ways that it manifests itself across different devices and different opportunities, and you think about it's not just one way or another. It's server, it's desktop, it's phone, it's slates, right? All these different things coming to the surface there. It's fantastic as an opportunity.
I go to a lot of conferences, so as an analyst, I'll have to say that we often hear technology executives say, this is the biggest year, or this is the biggest thing. And, you know, at the beginning of the morning, I kind of thought, okay, we always hear that, epic year, I get it. But, you know, as you think through, like you said, Windows 8 on all the different form factors, and then we saw, you know, the big screen, and we're going to talk about that later. You know, you did just kind of add it all up to say, wow, this is going to be a big year for Microsoft and the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So from a partner perspective, when you think about, you know, what you're currently doing today and what it might look like moving forward, do you see yourself continuing the same path? Has this reshaped sort of where you're going, broadening?
It's got to be different because with Windows 8 you've got the multiplicity of different devices. Right. It's not about one desktop or one computer anymore. It's about your phone, taking the USB stick home and making your home computer be your work computer, dealing with all those different aspects of the way that we use technology today. That's very interesting.
Jennifer, just a quick question. You mentioned you predominantly sell to small businesses. How do you think small businesses are ready to embrace all this technology, and what do you think is your role in sort of helping them educate about the opportunity?
Well, I think that a lot of times small businesses may be intimidated by what they look at as a cost prohibitive kind of a solution, where these things allow them to have kind of technologies that allow them to work from anywhere, which gives a lot of flexibility, especially when you don't have a lot of staff. Maybe if you've got one person on the road, that's a good percentage of your team. So a lot of these solutions, particularly mobility solutions, looking at things like Windows to Go, those are great solutions, especially when you have kind of a mobile workforce or a smaller workforce where, let's face it, it's not so pretty in terms of like working in a big corporate office and having all the tools that a big enterprise would have.
So Angus, I mean, Windows to Go, great example, and thanks to Jennifer for sort of reminding us of that. Perhaps you could give your perspective, because that was a pretty cool piece of technology, I thought.
It's a pretty interesting idea, isn't it? The idea that you could deliver to a corporate IT department the ability to let the controlled Windows environment from work be used at home without having to worry about dealing with all the issues about what device is it, what screen has it got, what drivers has it got, and all those kinds of things just being taken care of for you. I think the buzz that I was hearing on Twitter during the keynote was about how that manageability was what was important about that particular piece of technology.
Yeah, excellent. No, I thought it was a pretty cool piece of technology.
Well, you mentioned Twitter. It's funny because there was that phrase that came out during the keynote was, it's like having your corporate desktop in your pocket.
Right.
That seemed to grab legs quickly and continue to grow. People saying how much they love that concept of it, just being able to take it with you, go, put in a device, and you're on your way.
There were a few items that were brought up this morning that you could really feel the buzz in the room, in the Air Canada Centre. And I think that if partners, they're not going to pick up on everything. They're not going to take everything home and do it. But if they just pick a few of those things, incorporate it in their own business, they're going to be able to go out and talk to their customers about these things and really say, hey, I've done it, and you wouldn't believe how cool this is or how useful this is or what have you.
Yeah, I think there's huge opportunity there for partners of all types, and that consumerization of IT really comes to life.
With self-control, there's this reminder there that Microsoft stands for enterprises, and the ability to deliver that capability to end users, still with the control, is a really key differentiator, I think.
So Angus, when they looked at the Windows 8 devices that Tammy ran through, which one sort of excited you most from, say, a pure technology perspective?
Well, my daughter liked, she was busy watching the keynote from home because she's doing work experience for me this week, and I made her watch it, and she liked best the one with the paintbrush.
Yes.
She said that that's the one that she could really see as being an exciting thing to use. A PC with a paintbrush, she said, who wouldn't want that?
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned that. So for my daughters, they had a couple slates at home. They were running Windows 8. My youngest is all about the drawing and the painting. She loves all those apps that do exactly just that. She says, this is fantastic. Watch this. And so it's creating different pieces. And so you can see how that can just really appeal to so many people.
On a business level, though, I mean, I've played with different devices from other manufacturers. I mean, there's very popular ones and others that have kind of come up and down. The thing I want to be able to do is take my Microsoft Word document or my Excel file and go onto that tablet on a plane, work on it, and come back and send it back to my other PC. And right now that is just not a pretty picture with trying to bring all the pieces together. I love this idea of the seamless experience.
Yeah, the link through SkyDrive that Tammy covered at the end.
Absolutely.
I think also too, now that it's all unified into one kind of really easy to use platform across multiple devices, it really takes away the focus on the platform and really puts it on the user experience and customizing that to what each individual wants, which really, before you were focusing so much on who's using what, how does that translate to the next place I have to go. So it's really neat.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, okay, we're going to take a quick break here, but when we return, more buzzworthy stories coming to the surface to here at Toronto today. Stay right where you are.
We got a lot of feedback from partners. Partners were telling us that it was difficult for them to differentiate in the marketplace with the logos we had. So we really looked at the logos and thought about how we could evolve those. The principles of Metro, it's really about simplicity and reductive design. We have removed the secondary elements, such as what we affectionately know as the nest. We've left justified the competency names. This means that you have a more usable application of a logo. It's a great thing. It's simpler for partners and for customers to see what investments a partner has made around competencies or around cloud programs. The logos are available today. You can go onto the partner portal, onto Logo Builder, download your logo, and off you go.
Obviously, it's really light. I feel powerful. Really sleek. I like it. I can't see that anybody wouldn't like it.
I could stand and type like this. It's so light.
It's just perfect.
It's much lighter than the laptop. It's got a nice feel to it. It's lighter than I thought it was going to be. Which I'm surprised. I like it. The screen is very, very sharp. It's pretty quick. It's a nice first impression.
Live, MPN booth on the floor of the Solution Innovation Centre here at Worldwide Partner Conference 2012 in Toronto, Canada.
I want to take a quick MS Partner Minute and cover a little bit what our community is actually saying throughout the conference. So we've got a couple of tweets here that our partners sent in, and I may not say this properly. Juka Naranan tweeted, "Betting the company on Windows 8. No, this is not some WPC 12 keynote hype." We had another one from Lorianne Strant, who said, "Just donned my blue Microsoft top in preparation for my presentation. Now I blend in perfectly." Matthew Dean, "Metro is everywhere." And then Dimitri Balin tweeted in, "So nice to meet good friends here at WPC 12. I think it's a great piece of the partner conference.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Eric. And just moving on to the second of the top 5 that, of the highlights that generated quite a significant amount of buzz here today was the partner opportunity, specifically around Office 365. And let me just introduce a short clip from Kurt Delbenny from earlier on today.
The first thing, which is a really big deal for us, is we're announcing today the Office 365 Open program. And the great thing is it works just like Open does in all the other products that you guys know and love. That means that you guys own the top level or the top line revenue. It means you get to bill your customers directly for Office 365. Now you're getting it. That you get to present a single package or a single solution to customers, because you can take your own services and you can package that together with the Office 365 service and say, this is your total invoice, this is your total bill for Office 365 plus all that value added that you guys create.
As you can see, some great news for partners, and the round of applause just shows how excited the partners were there for the partner opportunity. I'd like to pass my first question around this to Darren. In his role as an analyst, Darren hears loud and clear from the channel in terms of what they need from a partner like Microsoft to be successful in business. So Darren, how important was this announcement to Microsoft partners?
You could hear from the audible roar, and I mean, if the seats weren't so cramped this morning, I mean, it's, you know, it is my town and my Air Canada Centre, and I never fit in the seats, but I mean, the partners wanted to get out of their seats to applaud that. I mean, a few times at conferences like this, there's an announcement that gets that kind of attention from the audience, and this was truly one of those. John said himself, I mean, I've heard it myself, but John also said in his 2 years in his role, this is the #1 thing he's been asked, you know, give us that direct billing relationship, and now with Office 365 Open, that's a possibility. And I think there'll be a material bump in Office 365 sales. I was talking to partners today, and some that I didn't even think would care about that announcement, they said it's going to be so much easier to implement their solutions and get it to the partners. So much more simple, easier. They don't have to, he said the old world was make sure you put us as partner of record and you do this credit card and you do this piece. Now it's going to be so much more simple. So I think there's going to be a real material boost to that.
And Kurt mentioned changes with the margin and rebate structures as well at the same time.
Well, it was interesting that got far less of an audible roar than the first announcement about the Office 365 Open. I mean, extra points are always good, but that was a pretty big paradigm shift to say that partners could now own that billing relationship. I've heard from partners say, if I've got the billing relationship, I own their customer relationship, and some partners feel that way. I don't know if you guys kind of see the same opportunities.
I certainly feel like that. It's about trust, isn't it? And Microsoft trusts its partners to go to market on their behalf. The partners have a trusted relationship with their customers, and it's always sat a little bit uncomfortably that there's had to be an indirect billing relationship with Microsoft as well. That's what the partners were cheering about, because They want to make sure that they control their customers well, but also that they offer a single, simple, one-stop shop to them in terms of their relationship and their professional services and the software that they buy.
And I think Kurt said it too. You even heard the clip too. Was the ability now for partners to go out and include everything in the one invoice, right? You can roll together the cost of the software, the cost of the services, the whole solution, right, and deliver it to the customer. And that is what you bring to the table, right?
It's amazing sometimes how much pain there is with an invoice that has to come out of band like that with a customer, especially customers in the public sector, for example. We've got to do this one this special way. It's like, well, that has to go through another tendering process or another bureaucracy to get done. It is painful, so it's a great addition.
Yeah, thank you. So Jennifer, how do you think this will impact your business?
Well, again, with the administrative side, it's excellent because it allows us to track it much more easily once we're doing it in our own billing systems. I think also, too, maybe more so on the side of the trust. It's much nicer to have and maintain 100% of that billing relationship with your client and not have someone else step in. And there's always this idea that maybe if there's someone else in that relationship, they could always walk away with the client at some point.
Not getting those extra points of margin either.
Not at all.
Yeah. So Angus, did you see anything there from sort of a, your technology specialist and there's often a lot of fear amongst partners that because Office 365 is provisioned in the cloud, that it's how do they build a profitable business around that? I mean,
it's never been a fear to us at Applicable. We always go to a customer with the view that we should sell the customer the solution that's appropriate for them. So if Office 365 is the right solution for that particular customer's demands or needs, then that's great. If it isn't, then we can sell them our Link product that we manage in our own data centers. But oftentimes we'll sell a combination of both, depending on the workforce requirement for each individual person in the business.
Yeah, I think that's a key thing, that there's going to be a halo effect from Office 365 to push the other on-premise products, the hosted exchange, other things like that. Office 365 will, that kind of marketing and promotion that you guys do, that kind of buzz that's out there will also help the others. If this doesn't fit, there's other very complementary, supplemental solutions.
Well, and actually, so speaking of that, so you've been about complementary solutions, that often brings up opportunity for partners who have one type of practice to expand into others.
Absolutely.
And it brings together that partner to partner, which was actually, ironically, is the third topic that we had show up today, was the ability to connect with others. That partner-partner connection, using WPC Connect, the ability to build your networks as partners. So why don't we talk about some of that partner-partner connection pieces?
Sure.
And some of the things you heard and saw there.
I thought it was exciting today, just getting to talk to some of the other partners and finding out, how they were shifting their businesses to adapt to things like the cloud, where they saw the future of Microsoft going in relation to their own business. So it's kind of neat because being all over the world, we have different perspectives. I think for us, it's really nice to make those connections, and in a lot of cases, they last for years. So
absolutely,
really exciting.
Yeah. Did you guys set any meetings up through MPN Connect before you came here?
We have 5 people here at WPC, and Applicable kindly let me do the social media and have the fun and be on TV. The other 4 are in back-to-back.
Curator now.
Exactly. Yeah. The other 4 are all in back-to-back meetings all day, every day for the whole duration of the show. Most of those have been arranged through WPC Connect. So I haven't even seen Mark Ward, our CTO, yet. He's here somewhere, but I haven't met him yet today.
How important of a part of the WPC experience is that sort of business building, that business connection?
It's crucial for us. We as a partner are a specialist partner in a particular area, unified communications and comms and messaging and SharePoint and hosting. But we don't do the whole gamut of Microsoft technologies. So if we're to deliver a solution to a customer, we have to partner with another Microsoft partner who has that expertise. So if it was application lifecycle management opportunity, we couldn't do that. But we would find a UK partner who could help us.
Yeah. Because one thing that we will be doing is that the WPC Connect tool will remain live after the event, so it will be always on. And I think that's an important part. So the relationships that you do build here whilst in Toronto, you can maintain online, build communities, and really foster a P2P network that lives on.
I think it could be expanded and made even more compelling throughout the year, as you say. So
yeah.
That would be good.
IDC looks at the partner-to-partner connection quite a bit. We've done many studies. We've seen a lot of partner-to-partner activity in the community. And Microsoft really does stand out in this respect, that the partners want to work with each other. You've got a lot of partners, more than any other IT ecosystem, and they want to work with each other. This is you put on a great show for them to find each other, WPC Connect, and so many other events. I mean, just at my lunch table, partners were exchanging business cards for whatever reason. They're not all going to work out. They're not. Yeah. But there's so many good connections that can be made here, and it's just a very positive. It's a great event for that, and it's really exciting to watch it unfold before your eyes.
Certainly the power of the network.
Absolutely.
So time for a short break. Coming up next, our guests share their thoughts on what's making history here at day one of Worldwide Partner Conference. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Partners that use our benefits tend to do much better in terms of their sales and deployment cycles as well. There are really 4 major technical benefits that we encourage our partners to use. The very first is our support communities. The next step is really about our readiness training. Then we have what we call our advisory hours. Another area that we cover is our break-fix offering. This is, I think, the best kept secret in MPN. There is something there for every partner. And I think that's really the great message we want to get across to our partners is you have this great tool that you're just not using, and we want you to use it. We want to make you better.
Welcome back to MPN Live, coming to you from the Worldwide Partner Conference in Toronto, Canada. The next big topic that came to the surface here today throughout the conference and the social was all around actually social in itself, and the announcement of the, think about the Yammer and that acquisition. So I'd love to get your feedback and thoughts on Yammer and social.
It's a great acquisition from Microsoft. We see a lot of Yammer in the UK, especially, unbelievably, in the public sector. The public sector is not known for choosing technology that's hosted offshore, and yet Yammer is in use in the UK police, for example, which is a really interesting thing to see. So there's definitely demand there for controlled social networking and social media, if there can be such a thing. And I think it will be really interesting to see what Microsoft do with that product, and especially how they connect it in with SharePoint. So
and I think as we see, the connection with SharePoint is clearly critical, because I mean SharePoint is a hugely successful product for Microsoft, and most sort of organizations, enterprises, mid-sized companies out there have some form of SharePoint. So Darren, from your observations, how do you see social in the enterprise coming together as new ways of communicating almost within the corporate walls as well?
Well, I mean, the acquisition is good in terms of Yammer on its own is a nice tool, but I've seen a lot of companies try these types of activity stream tools, and they don't always work. And I think the big reason is context. It's just not a place you'd normally go when you wake up, get your coffee, turn on the computer. But if it's integrated into a SharePoint site or an intranet that you're programmed to go to, or into your Outlook or Skype, and all these things that are possible now with Microsoft, I think that's really going to take off. And I mean, Microsoft sort of needed that to fill out its portfolio, and I just see it working quite well. I can see all sorts of partner solutions that'll tap into that and allow that activity stream and the other things into there. So very positive from my viewpoint.
I agree. When you think about it, because it's all about connecting, right? So how do you connect people, connect the conversations, get people in touch with what they need to, when they need to, and where they need to, right? And so I think it gives them good opportunity.
Talking to partners today about it, they said, it definitely comes down to that context. People do want to talk with each other, but they're not going to go off to some new site, log in on their own, and do that. But if it's a part of what they do every day, they've seen some real good uses. They said it's not about the technology as much anymore. It's more about the use case scenarios of how you put that in.
As an enabling piece.
Yeah.
Just enabling me to do what I'm looking to do.
Yeah.
As opposed to going someplace to do something.
That's
right.
I
mean, just from a very sort of here and now, we saw social media being very active as part of this conference.
Oh, absolutely.
We actually saw, when we saw traffic on social media, we actually saw an increase in registrations here at the conference. And it's really showing the new ways that word of mouth is really generating tangible business results, measurable results. And we did some pretty interesting studies that, in terms of use of social media. So I think as enterprises start to embrace that kind of technology built in with SharePoint, great opportunity for our partners.
You guys are a case study for social media. I know you've invested in people to just focus on the community, and I've just seen that flourish. I mean, there's other IT vendors who do similar things, but you guys have had a real success with appointing people to watch over that and all the different venues that partners can go to. It's been good. A case study.
Okay, well, thank you. So we'll move on to number 5 of the top 5. And this was the surprise announcement today of an acquisition of Perceptive Pixel. Form factors are changing the surface of devices. So I'd just like to sort of perhaps ask Angus to give us a perspective on Perceptive Pixel.
Well, who doesn't want an 82-inch monitor?
Absolutely.
First of all,
yes.
I want one. I'd
Yes.
like one. If I could get it in my hand baggage, I'd try and do that.
Yes.
It looks interesting.
It's pretty heavy.
The challenge is going to be making that a commodity price level product so that you can get it into schools and that kind of facility, because that's really where technologies like that can take off, where you can, again, going back to what we were talking about Windows 8, taking the multiple device analogy, if you had a whole bunch of children in a school, each with their Windows phones, pushing things up onto the 82-inch screen to share with the teacher.
So just perhaps for sort of viewers today that didn't have an opportunity to see the clip today, how would you sort of set the scene of what Perceptive Pixel is?
Well, a gigantic, high-resolution, very usable and straightforward user interface for dealing with lots of non-linear information. So the great example they showed was creating a non-linear set of slides out of a bunch of different content. And I really enjoyed seeing them connect together those different elements to make up a slideshow by just dragging on the screen itself. It's really interesting. A bit like that movie Minority Report. So although that's not that new, that's about 10 years old. So this is not that in terms
like the
of
James
units.
Bond films that we all grew up with, Angus, back in the day. So Jennifer, how would you see a small business as this technology that perhaps becomes a little more commoditized, the price point drops a little bit? How do you see small businesses perhaps making use of that?
I think for us it's really exciting. We have a lot of clients that are architecture firms, design firms, a lot of fashion design companies. So any kind of an artistic business like that, I mean, possibilities are endless, really. It allows you to do something that's very visceral and have that experience digitally. I mean, it's just amazing. I think it's going to be, for our customer
the
base.
architectural firms are just a tremendous example.
I know.
Who'd have thought of that? So.
We actually thought of this idea last week, that wouldn't it be neat if we actually went back to drawing drawings instead of the concept of using a mouse to draw an architectural plan.
Okay.
So
the clock's winding down here, so I'd just like to perhaps do a quick sort of start with Darren, Angus and Jennifer. Just give us your takeaway summary of day one here at Worldwide Partner Conference.
Great day one. Again, I'm from Toronto. I love having the partners here, causing a few traffic issues on York Street. It's just been great to have everyone here. No other event I go to a lot of different partner conferences. No other event has the same feel, the same energy as the Microsoft's Worldwide Partner Conference. It's the number one place for them to get their updates. I know you guys save a lot of updates and even product things for this event because product, partners are such a big deal. So it's just been a great day so far, and I look forward to more announcements, more news, and more
There's
positivity.
certainly some more buzz coming tomorrow.
Oh, good.
Angus.
I came to WPC really expecting Windows 8 to be all about tablets today, and I had seriously underestimated the enterprise side of Windows 8. And actually my takeaway from today is to go and find out more about that during the next couple of days.
Oh, that's a good recommendation to all the viewers as well. Jennifer.
Well, today was day one of my first WPC,
Oh,
so
congratulations.
it's been amazing to feel the energy.
Hopefully not the last.
And it's been great to feel the energy, and I really look forward to the idea of this year. I mean, I feel like we've been evangelizing Microsoft for the last few years, even when it's been difficult to do so, and this is really the year it pays off.
Okay, well, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Angus. Thank you, Darren. Eric, take us away.
Yes. So be sure to watch tomorrow morning as we bring you the MPN Live pre-show, followed by the keynote. You get reaction to the keynotes on MPN Live immediately following the keynote show as well. And don't forget to join us back here at the end of the day for the MPN Live from the Solutions Center as we once again cover the day's highlights.
That's our show. Remember, MPN Live is where Microsoft partners connect for frank conversation, share new ideas, beat and share business insights. I'm Karl Noakes.
And I'm Eric Ligman. See you tomorrow.